switching to get ready here as the sun sets around the Georgia State. Road Atlanta, Brazelton. Race 2, World Super Touring Championship. This is round 9. And reverse grid time with some surprise elements as well, and some less surprising elements as well. We kind of expect Schneider and Verst to be front row. What we don't expect is Zhou Xiong third on the grid. We don't expect Hartley to be sixth on the grid either, but there we go. That's the wonders of the reverse grid time. Surprised to see Cobra Motorsport out of whack there with nothing to say like they have for the previous races there, but hey ho, new venue, out of experience, I guess, is why the guys at the front are there, because they've perhaps been here before with different series, so the track knowledge is definitely in their or to their advantage there. Adrian Michael Rees here and Michael Swinnerton, and yeah, fairly decent crowd, subdued, not as say fanatical as what's going to be expected in Japan there, or perhaps when we head back to Brands Hatch next time by. Yeah, decent fan base nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we never expect huge amounts when we come to the States. There's obviously enough for it to be commercially viable, and there's enough tracks to try out, which is always fun, going to a new venue every single year. I don't know if we'll do that again next year. It might be this place again.
Let's hope so, because even though it alternates, it's back to the whole trope of, whilst there are certain circuits that are built for sports cars, that the circuits are built for the stock cars as well. We know which ones they are. This is also a sports car and motorcycle circuit, but has all the hallmarks of a Brands Hatch crossed with Alton Park.
That's interesting you said that. I was literally just thinking this is almost like an American Alton Park. So yes, I'm with you on that one.
So into turn 1 for second race then. Schneider on pole. We're going to see the reverse grid start. Clean getaway for the pole man. Clean getaway for car 2 there, or grid slot 3. Sheng up the second. And yep, it wasn't going to happen. Really, was it? The Chinese driver into P1 at the first turn, but will he get the job done? Happy for the neutral come the end of the lap then. Dumas already up to third, Hartley up to fifth with Wirtz. This is make or break for Renault. They've got to do the business here, and falling back through rear wheel drive can't be avoided, but now's the time to start making the chimichangas, getting the business done.
Yeah, absolutely, Wirtz. If we've seen anything, we need Wirtz to be on charge mode again. Though it will be said, Schneider has been winless for over a year now, so she might be the most hungriest works driver on the grid so far that wants to win this race, and she's in the best place to do it now.
Fast stretch for the first time this race, at least. Power down for Dumas to avoid any overtake from Wirtz. Lammers up to fifth then. Bianchi up to seventh. Fisichella already up to eighth.
Mid-pack.
Ingram did fall back.
Yeah, Ekstrom up to 10th. He had a good qualifying run and was looking a bit speedy in the... Whoops! Daisies!
That's not what we want to see from a title.
That was not intentional.
You think so?
Yes, I know. Those two get on quite well. That was... I think Ingram just got caught out there with lack of speed. But yeah, we saw Ekstrom have a bit of speed towards at the beginning of the race and then fall back pretty sharpish. We'll have to see if he'll do that again, or whether the mechanics have managed to work on the car sufficiently to have it behave slightly better to his liking, have a bit more long-run speed in it.
We did see Ingram kind of resign the position to Salo almost out of apology to Ekstrom there, but all of a sudden Ingram's back in the game, back in 11th.
Ingram's going to need to be a bit more cutthroat and a bit less nice to his teammate, because he's got a championship to think about now as well. And Ekstrom is definitely not in the hunt, and Volvo aren't really there for the constructors' title, so it's honestly not really worth the time those two working together, unfortunately.
Yeah, perhaps Volvo didn't expect to be in the hunt for a driver's title, let alone the manufacturers, but, well, there's Ekstrom trying to threaten Palou. Fisichella now, well, we saw him at 8th already. Cheng still second.
Whitman's
Wirtz
fallen
now
back.
with the first flying lap, fastest lap, but Nicky Lammers has eclipsed that as well. There goes Jamie Webber around the outside of Thompson. Wittmann down to 13th. Okay, we kind of we've seen that happen before.
Yeah,
I
she
thought
starts
they
10th
would have,
and struggles with the traffic and can't
despite
really recover from it.
Yeah, she would have been halfway around the final turn, perhaps, at the start as well, despite the more powerful getaway, perhaps. Speaking of getaways, here comes Wirtz ahead almost of Zhou Sheng now.
Sends
But
out the inside. Cheng with the momentum on the banking. Just
bit of
about keeps the
aggression
place
from
for
Wirtz.
now, but I feel like that's only
That was brave,
temporary, and
Sheng.
Wirtz is going to have another go again at some point.
Yeah, aggressive of Wirtz, brave of Sheng to actually stop that from being a conceded position.
Squeezes him ever
But
so
this
slightly
is-
on the outside,
yeah.
but I think this is going to be pretty cut and shut. Wirtz will have him in the braking zone at the very least. He's already clear. So that's that settled. Wirtz is up to second. Schneider is now going to be looking in her rearview mirrors, worried. Because here comes a Renault on charge mode, and we know how unstoppable they can be when they're on charge mode.
And this is where it needs to count. These are the rounds that make or break championships, and there goes Bianchi as well. So Renault finally out of the doldrums. But
There he goes. That didn't take him very long at all.
And for a while, blimey, it has been ages since Renault have led a round of this particular championship.
Schneider relegated to second. Still a good result, but it's not the win that she so desperately is looking for. She has said, though, she's really enjoyed driving around this circuit. Didn't really have much experience of it beforehand, but she's completely fallen in love with the place. Loves the flow of it.
Speaking of, I mean, Zhou Sheng, that car is in an unexpected position. We do hear, with it being a Toyota, and of course Toyota's strong market over here, they have had provided excellent support to them. Maybe not too much in terms of horsepower and aerodynamics, but the fact that they've brought 10 extra men out of the Toyota factory outputs that are in the States there has helped them very well indeed. Here's Bianchi though.
Bianchi just sent it round the outside of Lammers. Got him done at the first part of the chicane. He's now got the aforementioned Toyota in front of him. Bianchi also a little bit on charge mode here. So I don't think this is going to take him very long unless they get really bogged down in the weeds with each other. He can carry a lot of extra speed compared to the Toyota. In certain areas of this track, he just needs the space to get past.
And it's once the case of when, not if, because that is definitely going to happen within the next 10 laps, or it should happen. Lammers 5th, doing last 6. Ingram up to 7th, with Fisichella back down to, well, Ingram's up to 6th now.
Ingram also on a charge mode apparently.
Here's the power of the Renault.
Yeah, the Toyota's going to have the acceleration because it's got one of the most silliest gearboxes known to mankind. It's got 8 gears in that car. But we know Renault has the top end speed, and he's got the slipstream, and he'll have him on the brakes.
Unless
gives him a little tap. That'll have rattled the young Chinese driver.
That being said, Schneider's been rattled as well. This is a potential 1-2 on the cards for Renault, or indeed a second place for Sheng still.
Very potentially, yes. Wirtz has indeed checked out. He's done what the Works Alphas did last race. This is what I was theorising last race about what can the Renaults do with clean air. Wirtz is proving it. Bianchi is stuck behind these two.
Lammers, gap to Ingram. Bianchi trying to find every possible piece of grip, even if it's not on the grass, just then.
Bianchi's going to be getting more and more frustrated where he knows he's got the quicker car. He just can't find a way past.
This
might be able to have a run this time by into the chicane because he's already on the back of Cheng.
There we go, that's a lot better.
Can he get a 2-for-1 offer and get Schneider as well?
Better exit from Bianchi then. I have a fear that the Renault up the BMW bumper happened in race 1. There it was. So it's not happening this lap. Lammers now threatening Sheng.
Yeah, we saw last race that the Hondas were pretty quick at the beginning of the race and sort of dropped off a bit of a cliff. We'll see if they do that again. Bianchi is wasting no time. He's going to try and go around the outside of the BMW, or is he going to do the switchback, or is he going to do neither?
And the highly unlikely over the top, over the roof of the BMW, given these hills. Maybe not.
Not quite. You'd need the stadium super truck ramps placed on the track in order to achieve that one.
Good show from them earlier on as well.
Yeah, only 2 rollovers.
Speaking of, Bianchi down the inside of Schneider here, not yet.
Look, not quite. He needs to really focus on his exit in this corner here. Schneider's missed the apex, that's a good start.
Well,
this might be a foregone conclusion then. Schneider's BMW just not quite behaving the way she wants it to. She's going to lose out second here. There goes Bianchi. It's now a Renault 1-2. Anything you can do, Alfa Romeo, we can match you.
If only more often for it to count, for it to make any sort of inroad on not only the drivers but also the Manufacturers' Championship. Ingram still with a bit of clean air and 6th place all to himself. Fisichella now ahead of Duma. Palou and Hartley. What a battle we got here, because Wittmann is now
wide into the
on the charge as well.
Yeah, Wittmann trying to make up some ground on the cars around her. And she'll be getting a little bit frustrated because she's already proved she's faster than everybody here. But she's struggling to make any kind of inroads. She's going to get mugged by both Cobra Motorsport Fords.
No stragglers as well. Top 20 is the 20. Everyone's doing as best a job as they can and not giving up just yet before the sun falls around Road Atlanta.
Yeah, Jamie Webber though with a disappointing run. This will be a race to forget for him, and BMW will have to really look at what they were struggling with at this track, because all of them have kind of underperformed, including the privateer BM of Kubica here.
Some had a peep out of head. Kicking up some grass, but that's a decent strand of cars, keeping the crowds entertained as we head into the second half of race 2. Lammers move on Sheng. That's happened, unless Sheng's going to get some slipstream.
He might get some slipstream. He might be able to send it into the braking zone, but I think this is a foregone conclusion. That's a done deal. Lammers covers the line.
Some of the American mechanics in the red flag camp. Very pleased with their actions. In fact, what we forgot to mention was a lot of the mechanics are using this as prep for a full-on onslaught of an American championship. It was tested out in amongst a more muscle-based championship with a smaller array of cars, but they're going to be taking it seriously next season. So much so that gossip is, not that we've heard it yet, some of the world drivers might, or at least one of them, might end up in one of the seats in the American specific championship then.
Yeah,
it could
we've
be
already
any one of
heard
these.
confirmation that a familiar name to long-time viewers of the World Super Touring Championship of Sergio Suarez. He's got himself a works drive in the American Series next year. Be able to put his VW experience to good work. I think he's driving for Mazda, I think they said.
And the Volkswagen privateer support scheme working wonders out here in the States.
Yeah, Pastor Montoya, the Colombian driver, has managed to get a few class wins with that Golf, notably at Willow Springs, which was a bit of a surprise to everybody.
Dumont doing the usual business of top 10 finishes, but Cobra have kind of demoralized his efforts somewhat.
He's kind of the head of the train at the minute. DHL Alpha Ford, DHL Alpha Ford. Nice pattern work, lads.
So that's 3 times fast.
I don't think I will. Fisichella has broken away from them, while everyone else is just in the thick of it. Salo gets himself around Hartley. I wonder how many more cars we're going to see trip over each other as Dumas backs everybody up into each other. Whitman trying to make some inroads again. Sends up the inside of Thompson, doesn't quite work. She's going to have to be careful of Webber now. It's Ekstrom's turn to look a bit aggressive, see if he can get a good run out of this corner. Get a run on Hartley. There's the closing speed. And job done.
Surprising late stage power from the Volvo, and a surprising drop in performance from the DHL Alpha then, as Hartley says, okay, good move, here's a bump draft into one of the slowest turns, work that one out.
Here's a parting gift for you.
Ingram still in, well, what was clean air. There is a red flag right there. A red flag, Crown Athlete.
And there is Lammers in front of Schneider. So Schneider has now been knocked off the podium after starting pole. You can see the back end trying to come around on her in that BMW. I wonder if she's fighting a loose condition, which is really hampering her speed of performance here.
Whilst we see this, the mid pack is also the back pack, and therefore the peloton. An entire strand of everyone down to last place in a very entertaining strand, whilst the 2 Renaults are just gone. Lama's now 3rd. Ingram not exactly closing in with what's going to be 4 to go after this one.
No, he's just running in a comfortable 6th place, not making any mistakes, not getting it wrong, just picking up the points and being quiet about things, which is a pretty smart way of doing things. We've seen that work before in other places in the motorsport world.
Fisichella still 7th.
And under fire from Palou. Once again, we're seeing that the Alphas are quick but don't like traffic.
Track's getting cooler. Sun is indeed setting.
That too. Ekstrom now up to 9th, finally into the top 10, where he could have done with being in the last race.
Now if I've worked this out, end of this race, it's a 3-point gap to the Drivers' Championship between Wirtz and Ingram. Renault have managed to salvage this one, and hopefully that momentum, despite home favouritism for the Ingram there when we get to Brands Hatch next time by.
Yeah, we know Ingram's a bit of a speed demon around there. I have taught him well. But yeah, Renault really need to sort out their qualifying efforts, because that's what's killing their championship hopes. It's what did them in last season, and it's what's running the risk of doing them in again this season. Despite everybody in this big pack being close together, a lot of it is actually single file running, apart from these two. There goes Ekstrom trying to put the move on Fisichella. Not quite.
Oh, it was almost on.
It was almost there.
Blue starting to get away.
The Volvo is not overly happily at changing directions pretty quickly, so tight, twisty, chicane-like turns, it's where it has a little complaint.
And whilst Ekstrom couldn't get past Fisichella, Ingram has got ahead of Sheng. Now chasing down Schneider. Extra points in the bag, so this is hopefully
Schneider now.
where that gets paid off.
Now on the aggressive, wants that third place back off of Lammers. Again, we saw last race that the Hondas kind of munched through their front tyres and lost some speed and some positions in the last couple of laps. Let's see if that happens again here. Though Lammers has managed to pull out a gap with the extra straight line speed.
I knew I'd get my maths wrong. This is the position Ingram needs to be in to get a 3-point gap to Verge right there in second.
Everybody pulling away from Zhao Cheng, but that's still tying his best result of the season so far. So they can be a bunch of happy bunnies down there at the Red Flag Racing Garage. Meanwhile, the second half of the field scrum.
And we've finally got a straggler, and that is Felix right now. Yeah,
of course. Once again, they've been chasing their tail all weekend, haven't quite managed to get the speed out of the car. Rydell's not really been happy with it. It's just really putting more evidence towards they've made the right decision in what they're going to do with next season.
It would have helped perhaps if a fresh face was in the car like now to benefit from that position and the track time ready for next season perhaps, but that's the contract that they have with Rydell. He's still there until he makes the decision he sees fit.
Rydell does have a partial ownership stake in that team, so his words have an awful lot of weight. Final lap then. Renault 1-2, formation flying. Wirtz on the back bumper of Bianchi. I don't know if they're going to try any kind of manoeuvres on this last lap.
It would be worth Renault's while to actually swap positions so that it wasn't the 3-point gap that I'm calculating. It was more of a 5 to 6 point gap with all the fastest laps in mind then.
Wirtz does have the fastest lap, so there is an extra 2 points going to the Austrian there.
A bigger safety net might be required, especially as the manufacturer championship is also at stake as well. Bianchi, yes, very well done for getting some wins in early, but I think as far as championship is concerned, Wirtz has more and should be given, as much as America hates a deliberate change of position for the final lap. It's happened before. If it was more entertaining, there was like a less orchestrated change. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Bianchi's got win number 3 in. Wirtz still on 4 wins then. Renault very happy indeed. Questions might still need to be asked though, but Lammers holding on to 3rd place for dear life. Schneider can't be too unhappy about fourth. But Ingram, well, yeah, comfortable. And knowing there's 2 races to go, 2 definite, not only guaranteed, but the effort is definitely going to be there around Brands Hatch. And what a fantastic day once more for Red Flag in front of a strong Toyota American-centric market. 6th place for them. Ford 7th. Yeah, American market, speaking of. Not much love for the hatchback. Enough of a fan base, but not much countrywide support for it. And what an entertaining strand towards the end there. Renault 1-2. Same level of entertainment as race 1. Would you say so, Sweeney?
Yeah, I mean, we saw plenty of overtaking opportunities happen. We saw some wiggles, some wheels getting onto the grass. Everyone was pretty clean. Overall, I think that was a successful foray to Road Atlanta. And I know there's already talks about coming back here again next year for some stability with the American round. And that will get no complaints from me, that's for damn sure.
And with Bianchi getting the win, that has almost catapulted Bianchi from a 9th place in the championship to 4th. Good news for Renault indeed. They needed this more than ever. They need to capitalise on this now when they head to Britain and head to Japan for the next 4 races. Wirtz on 243, Ingram on 240, Fisichella on 224. It is still a potential up for grabs for at least one of those 3. We will wait with bated breath. As for the privateers then, Carlos Moreno is behind Michele Zanardi by 10 points. No real points here. No major change for Zanardi at least, but Moreno did manage to get 2 useful points. Very useful for the Cobra team indeed, as they still lead the Independence Championship. But that is now a 52-point gap. Yeah, 52. That is still incredibly strong for the privateer independent teams championship. As for the manufacturers then, it is still somehow Renault on 440, Alfa on 420, which means Volvo still cling on to 3rd in the manufacturers for dear life. Yeah, we're going to see how this plays out for the final 4 races. And yeah, make sure you head to Brands Hatch for races 9 and 10. Hope the weather's okay, very likely. Or at least let's hope so, Swinny.
Yeah, absolutely. Brands Hatch in this time of year is normally pretty all right. It'll be track temperature, though, they'll have to be careful of because it can get a bit cold.
And I think we're rounded off there. I don't think there's anything more to say. Maybe we should be a bit more vociferous about the American Championship. We'll give you the news as and when, especially about the drivers that will end up in there, especially some of the familiar faces. We've already mentioned Suarez. We'll look forward to seeing what they can get up to with a full fleet of Super Touring spec cars. And we'll see what happens with these final 4 races when we return on this channel. Good racing, everybody. On behalf of Michael Swinnerton, Adrian Michael Riccio, we'll see you at Brands Hatch. Bye for now.